At this time, I'd like to remind you that I am not your financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. My YouTube channel is for entertainment purposes only, and to document my journey in the crypto space, I encourage you to pause the video at this time to read the full disclaimer. And now let's get on with the show. Okay guys, welcome back to the crypto wave. Actually, one second, let's mute that just in case. So second video, let's take a look at this Impermax. I did a video on it the other day. I tried to go into it, you know, they actually released that they're actually going to be going live, so I kind of impromptu created a video for it really quick. But now it actually has launched, and some of the leverage, the Uniswap leveraging and of the liquidity provider tokens has gone live. So I wanted to kind of take you a quick little summary and kind of what it looks like and what the interface looks like. I personally haven't put anything in there. I have some of my crypto actually locked up in other funds, but I'm going to be putting stuff in here, most likely into the lending portion, and I'll show you that in just a moment. But let's take a look at it. Let's go ahead and, it is impermax.finance. Let's go ahead and click launch app. It brings you to the home dashboard here. Now there is a user guide that when you actually click on user guide, it brings up this. Now, this basic requirement, in essence, is telling you how to get liquidity providing on Uniswap. There's a whole bazillion other type of videos out there that'll show you how to do that, but in essence, you need equal portions of 2 coins. So say you want to do USDC and ETH, and you're going to do 1,000 USDC, which is the US dollar, so $1,000. You'll need equivalent amount of ETH, which would be what, probably 0.8, somewhere around that range. Equal, you deposit it into what's called the liquidity pool of Uniswap. Once you do that, you're actually given a liquidity token, and that token represents that equal portion. So once you have those, you actually come back to this. So there's 2 ways of kind of going about this. There's the borrowing, meaning you can actually borrow and leverage, just like they talk about in their white paper, or you can lend. Now, mine is absolutely blank. What do we see here? What this is actually showing is it's showing how much money is in their current total supply within their LP. So there's 64,000. Now this varies a little bit with the 73,000, simply because as liquidity goes up and down from people buying and selling, you're going to get these little bit of variables. How much is borrowed from that? Here's those values here from each particular one. Utilization rate, so 81% of the total is being used, 75% of the total is being used. API is actually pretty dang high at the moment, and the borrowing API is pretty high at the moment. So what does this mean? If you had your liquidity provider tokens, you would actually just click on this deposit button. It would then deposit your, now the only ones they have available, let's go back here. These are the only 3 that they have available at the moment. So USDC with USD Tether, USDC with Ethereum, and wrapped BTC with ETH. Now, with that being said, if you have any of these 3, these are the ones that are currently active. So you would actually deposit your USDC ETH liquidity. It would then deposit in here, and it would give you a value. And then you can actually borrow or leverage against this to, in essence, if you're putting in a value, you can actually pull out more than what that value is. Now, when you click on the leverage, as it says on the guide here, when you click, let's deposit, you approve. Now, when you click on leverage, there actually is going to give you a scale that you're actually able to determine how much leverage you want. So if you put $1,000 in and you want to leverage 3x, you're actually allowed to pull out 3 times as much liquidity than you put in. In essence, you have, if you put in 1,000, you leverage it out, you can actually go and play with that 3,000 liquidity. Now that goes the same. You can actually do it as the LP token, or you can actually borrow the particular breakdown of that particular token. So you can borrow just the USDC portion of it. There obviously will be a repay option, so once that time comes, you need to have that in your wallet. You can hit repay and it'll come back. Now, the other side of it also is the lending tab. You come into the lending tab. Now, this in particular is a little bit different. This is probably going to be the route that I'm going to go. You actually can just take your particular currency, you supply it in here, meaning when you click supply, you put that value in here. People then can borrow that and have to pay interest on borrowing it. And when they pay that interest, it goes to you because you're the one providing that that product for them to borrow against. And that's basically it. I mean, as this comes, you can withdraw as you get your value back in addition to whatever percentage rates are being paid back to you. Keep in mind though, I would imagine they're going to have some kind of a halt here so that, for instance, if somebody puts in, you know, $100,000 here to lend, and the total pool, actually be USDC, the total pool is say 120,000 and 81% is borrowed, that would mean that there is about 100,000 out being utilized and circulated. So you're not going to be able to actually be able to withdraw that 80% or that value out because it's all been lent out there. So I imagine there's going to be a little bit of a balance there, so just keep that in mind. But with that being said, there is an awesome guide. I suggest you read through it. It's on impermax.finance homepage. Here's your links. The next video I do, I'm going to try and see if I can't gather up some coins and things here to attempt to attempt to utilize this site, just so you guys can see how to get logged into it and how to mess with it and everything. So alright, I hope that all makes sense. Again, really quick video, hopefully it makes sense. Definitely come check it out. It's going to be curious to see how this project goes. I think this is absolutely a game changer, simply because you can borrow and leverage and lend your LP and your crypto to earn interest on it. So until then, take care, you guys. I hope everybody's doing well, and I appreciate you tuning in. As always, have a great night.